ये कौन है इसका नॉलेज?
दाऊदी कैंटो तो
इधर से दाऊदी कैंटो इधर है। आप इधर क्यों बैठ रहे हो अभी? बैठो, लेकिन थोड़ा थोड़ा जगह बना दो ना। और कल 10 रुपया कौन कैसे सुना था? अरे हरी बोल, थोड़ी बैग हटा दो ना, ये थोड़ा ड्यूटी इधर उधर हो जाएंगे। दे दिया, तो उनको बोलना एग्जाम भी देना पड़ता है। नहीं नहीं नहीं, वो मत करो उधर, वो डार्कनेस है थोड़ा।
Are you all able to hear? Okay. So start. जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी, यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन, यशोदानंदन व्रजजन रंजन, यमुना तीरावनचारी, यमुना तीरावनचारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय राधा माधव माधव राधे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रा जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम ज्ञातविरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं हरिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती नामिने श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धे विश्व संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्जल प्रेमाढ्य श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौरा करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तद्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्ते विप्रलम्बारसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रियः वैष्णवः सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। Jaitam Suratur Pangur Mamanda Matergati Matsarvaswapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpatrumadaha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Prashrali Viste Vimanos Marami Sriman Rasarasarambi Vamshivata Tatastitaha Harsham Veno Saner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyastana Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome all of you for the second day. Before we actually chant those, before we actually get into today's class, we'll try to chant the verses sung by Sanatana Goswami in glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. Those of you who don't have it, maybe sometime I can send. I'm not so good in technology, I cannot send to my computer to on the screen. Those of you, somebody has these verses, 5 verses by Sanatana Goswami, glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam from the Krishna Lilastava, they can project on the screen. Sarva Shastra Abdi Piyusha, Sarva Vedaika Satphala, Sarva Siddhanta Ratnatya, Sarva Lokaika Dikprada, Sarva Bhagavata Prana, Srimad Bhagavata Prabhu, Kalidvan Totidaditya, Sri Krishna Parivartita, Paramananda Pathanya, Prema Varshakshara Sarvanda Sarasevya, Sri Krishnaya Namostate, Madhika Bandho Matsangin, Madguru Manmahadara, Mannistarga Madbhagya, Madananda Namostate, Sadhu Sadhuta Adain, Atini Chojataraka, Anamancha Kada Chinmam, Premnarit Kantayo Spriha. Premnarit Kantayo Spriha. So, yesterday we discussed the 4th chapter of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Vyasa and Narada Samvad is going to happen. Just before the start of the Narada Samvad, we had a discussion about a kind of first 3 chapters, the overview of the first 3 chapters. While discussing about the overview of the first 3 chapters, we came to know many things, especially that how 6 questions were asked by the sages of Nimisharanya, and 6 questions were answered in the 2nd and the 3rd chapter in a very concise format. When they asked the last question, Dharmaha Kam Sharanam Gata, the 24th verse of the 1st chapter, the answer was given at the end of the 3rd chapter. Krishne Sudamo Bhagate Dharmagyana Visaha Kalo Nashtadrishamesha Puranar Kodunoditha. Those who are lost vision because of the age of Kali. Now what Krishna has done is that he went to his home, back to garden, for his own house he went. Swam Kashtamadhanopete. When he went there, he went along with Dharma and Jnana. But as soon as he went, what happened was, he came back. How did he come back? He came back in the form of Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is nothing but Krishna coming back. Krishna came back in the form of Bhagavatam. That is why Sripad Sanatana Goswami says, Bhagavatam is Sri Krishna Parivartita, that Krishna who has come back for us. So that is how Bhagavatam becomes very special for all of us. So if you want to see Krishna, you can see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. So you don't have to really, oh Krishna, when are you going to give darshan? No, he's already giving darshan. Only things we need to find out how to see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. So we can really see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam when we have developed love for Krishna. That is why Bhagavatam is actually rasajnana. When you have, to the extent you have love for Krishna, to that extent you can actually see Krishna in the pages of Bhagavatam. So that is what we learned yesterday. Once the glory of Bhagavatam has been described as Swasti Ayanam Mahat Midam Bhagavatam Na Puranam Brahma Samhitam Uttama Shloka Chakara Bhagavan Rishi Anishesaya Lokasya Swasti Dhanyam Ayanam Mahat Dhanyam Swasti Ayanam Mahat. When these verses are spoken, they became very enthusiastic, the sages of Naimisharanya. They told, oh, Sutta Goswami, now please tell something about Bhagavatam, because you are Vadano Vadam Varaha. You are one who is great among speakers. So, one who is actually a great devotee of the Lord, he can be a spiritual master when he also knows how to speak. Vadatam Varaha. One who should be expert in speaking also. It is not that one should know. Knowing is one thing, and to speak out knowing what you know is another thing. That is why you are Vadatam Varaha. Katam Bhagavatim Punyam Yadaha Bhagavan Chukaha. So, as Sukadeva Goswami has told, you speak something about Bhagavatam. Especially, you want to know 4 things about Bhagavatam. Kasmin Yuge, Staneva Kena, Staneva, which place, Kena Hetuna, what purpose, which Vyasa wrote, Putaha Sanchoditaha Krishnaha, who inspired Vyasa to write. So basically, in the present session, I was asked to speak on 4th, 5th and 6th chapters. 5th and 6th chapter is primarily talking about Kutaha Sanchodita Krishnaha. Kutaha Sanchodita Krishnaha Kritavan Samita Munihi. On whose inspiration, on how was Vyasa inspired to write Bhagavatam. That is the subject matter. Now, in the 4th verse, we are just having a small recap of what we did yesterday, because I was told that audio was not very good yesterday. I hope it is better, and I can find many of you told audio is better in the messages I can see. And only one devotee told not able to hear. I don't know why. Others are able to hear. So let us go with majority and then understand that Krishna has blessed us with some technology here. So, Kasiputro Mahayogi. Then the question was about Sukadeva Goswami, the speaker of Bhagavatam. So first, if you see these 4 questions, are pertaining to Bhagavatam. Now, the 4th verse talks about the question pertaining to Sukadeva Goswami. Tasaputro Mahayogi Samatri Nirvikalpakaha Ekantamatir Unnidro Gudo Mudo Ivetaha. So we heard Sukadeva Goswami was externally naked and he was looking like a madman, but Gudaha. Inside Krishna consciousness, there is so much Krishna consciousness that people could not understand. And now they give example. What is the example? The greatness of Sukadeva Goswami is so much, he is more superior to his father. His father, Vyasa, he was elderly, but the woman, they told Vyasa that your son is so advanced that he doesn't know the distinction between man and woman. You know the distinction between man and woman. That is why we had to cover our bodies. Whereas when your son, when he saw your son, he was nishpapa. There was no sin in his eyes. His mind was so much engrossed in Brahman that for him everything is Krishna's energy. Not only that, the greatness of Sukadeva Goswami to his father is explained by his father only. How when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam, Vyasa was sitting and hearing Bhagavatam as if he is hearing for the first time. But in the 7th chapter we come to know Vyasa taught Bhagavatam to Sukadeva Goswami. Sugam Adhyapayamasa. he taught Bhagavatam to Sukadeva Goswami. And the same Vyasa, when Sukadeva Goswami was speaking Bhagavatam, he is sitting and hearing Bhagavatam as if he is hearing for the first time. Why? Because Lord Shiva tells, Am Veti, Sukha Veti, Vyasa Veti, Veti, Na Veti Va, Shridaram Sakaram Veti, Narasimha Prasadayet. By Narasimha Prasada, Narasimha Prasada means by the mercy of Narasimha. This verse is also an interesting verse. People can memorize this verse. Brahmacharis can do that. Brahmachari means memorizing verses. What does they have to do? So, Aham Veti Sukha Veti. I know Bhagavatam. Sukha Veti. Lord Shiva says, I know Bhagavatam. Sukadeva Goswami knows. Vyasa Veti Na Veti Va. Vyasa knows and also doesn't know. Why? Because when he wrote Bhagavatam, he was unconscious. He was completely drowned in Krishna consciousness. Bhakti Yoge Namanasi Samyak Pranite. 7th chapter it comes, this verse comes. Samyak Pranite Amale Apashyatam 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 Purusham Purnam Mayam Tapashrayam. So Vyasa was in total Krishna consciousness, drowned in love of Krishna. And he wrote the entire Bhagavatam. It is not that he had a paper and a pen and started writing. He wrote in the mind. It manifested in the mind actually. So he was not knowing actually. Why? Because he was unconscious. He was drowned in love of God. Whereas Sukadeva Goswami is actually conscious and then talking Srimad Bhagavatam, being in love of God. So when Sukadeva Goswami was so Bhagavatam, Sukhamukad Amrit Dravasamyutam Vivadha Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. Of course, we can talk more about Sukadeva Goswami. But this is the glory of Sukadeva Goswami. Katham alakshitha purushai samprapya purujanga. When he was walking, people were running behind him like as if he's a mad person. So we want to know about Sukadeva Goswami. I want to know about Parikshit Maharaj, who is actually the person who is the hearer of Bhagavatam, to whom Sukadeva Goswami spoke Bhagavatam is Parikshit Maharaj. So in the 7th verse and 8th verse, Sukadeva Goswami also is described in the 7th and 8th verses. Now, in the 9th verse onwards, Abhimanyu Sudam Sutaha. Abhimanyu Sudam Sutta Prahur Bhagavatottama Tasya Janma Mahascharjam Karmanisha Grinihicha. So we want to know about Parikshit Maharaj, who is Abhimanyu Sutaha. He is Bhagavatottama. And his Janma is very wonderful because Krishna came and protected him at the time of birth. Krishna came and protected him at the time of his leaving the body. In both conditions, Krishna protected. That is why he is known as Vishnu Radha. So we want to know about him. That we heard he is in such a great position. He just gave up everything. It's not easy to give up kingdom. It is not. He had kept all the people under control. So we want to know about him. Nama niyatpada niketam atmanaha namanti yatpada. So big kings, they pay obeisances to Sukadeva Goswami, so to Parikshit Maharaj. And Shivaya haniya dhanani shatravaha. Even the enemies, they came and paid obeisances to Parikshit Maharaj, and they gave taxes to Parikshit Maharaj. That was the power of Parikshit Maharaj. Now, Parikshit was always free from all kinds of attachments. He went around protecting for the welfare of others. This is how he had no selfish interest. We want to hear about Parikshit Maharaj. Tat sarvam na samachakshvaha pushto yat iha kinchana manyetvam vishaye vachan natam anyatta chamdasat. Oh, Sutta Goswami, you know everything. Of course, you are not allowed to chant certain verses of Bhagavatam or verses of Vedas because of your birth. It doesn't matter because you're going to speak Bhagavatam, which is the essence of all the Vedic literatures. Now, Sutta Goswami, he says, Vapare samyuprapte yuga parke jata parasharad yogi vyas vasavyam kalaya hare. So it is very clear that how Vyasa was born. Yesterday I told about the story of Vyasa's birth. Then Vyasa, what did he do? One day Vyasa, Sakadachet Saraswatya. So Saraswati Nadi. Vyasa is there, the bank of river Saraswati. And we should know Vyasa wrote this Bhagavatam. This whole story happened at Badri. I don't know how many of you gone to Badri. When you go to Badri, there is one place called Managaon, just a few kilometers further of Badri. This Managaon is the last village of the political map of India. We should only call the political map of India because India was, in the bigger terms, the whole world was India. Bharata was once upon a time. So, political map of India, last Gaon, Managaon, is also written. Bharat ka Akhri Shai ka Dukan is also written there. So there, Saraswati is manifest only for a half a kilometer there. At that place of Saraswati, Brahmanadyam Saraswatyam, Paschime Tire, is Samyaprasa, that is known as, that is a place where Upasprashya Jalam Suchi Vivikta Eka Asinaha Udite Ravi Mandare. So then he concentrated on Ravi Mandara. Vyasa is that Madhikashana, Samyaprasa. So there, Paravarajñas Sarishihi Alena Vyaktaram Hasa Yugadharma Vetikaram Praptam Yuge Yuge. Vyasa could see the future. In future, people are going, how they are going to be. You know very well. In the first chapter, you have the qualities of Kali Yuga. Prayanal Payushasabhya Kalavasnugena Mandaha Sumandamatiyo Mandabhagya Upadrataha. People are short-lived. Now Corona has proved that. Which sloka I am quoting? So I am in the 16th verse. I am just giving you an overview of what I am doing, what I did yesterday. So we are in the 16th verse. Paravarajñasya rishihi kalena avyaktaram hasa. Kalena avyaktaram hasa. The avyakta ramhasa, by great force. What is going to happen? Yuga dharma, vetikaran, so much of vetikaran. All kinds of disturbances happen. What are the disturbances? That you already learned in the first chapter. That is Prayan Alpayusha. Alpayusha means very less. People die very early. You know, your corona, you don't know who is going to get it, who is going to die. Nobody knows. Alpayusha. Somebody is able to live for 70, 80 or 90 years. Kalavaspin together. Mandaha, poor memory. Sumanda Matayo, Manda very lazy. Sumanda Matayo, less memory. Manda Bhagya. Bhagya is not much. They are all very Durbhagya. You are earning 3 lakh rupees a month and you have a house which is of 3-4 crores. You have a car which is of 50 lakh rupees. But you are always flying around, staying in different hotels around the world. And you are driving taxis around the world. But your car is there in the garage, in your house. In your house, 4 crores worth property of the house, you don't stay. You hardly stay for 15 days trying to get the house repaired. So everybody is Manda Bhagya. Even though there is Bhagya, there is Durbhagya. Like you see, what a situation. Not only that, Upadrata, people are so disturbed. That is the nature of the age of Kali. So Vyasa could see that some problem is going to come in the future. Kali Yuga is going to come. Now, because of that, he thought, I want to do some welfare to the entire world. For all the varnas and for all the ashramas. In the 17th and 18th verse you find, Sarvara ashramanam yad dado hitam amoghadrik. Dado hitam amoghadrik. Vyasa has been described as amoghadrik because he has a transcendental vision which is not influenced by the 3 modes of nature. So he started thinking about the hita. Hita means the benefit of the people in this world, especially in the age of Kali, for all the varnas and all the ashramas. Not just for some Brahmins or some rich Kshatriyas, not for them. He thought for all of them, they should have some benefit. In this way, Chaturhotram karma shuddham prajanam yiksha vedikam vyadadhat yajna santatyai vedamekam chaturvidam. For that purpose, he just took one Veda, which was actually originally one Veda. There were no 4 Vedas before. Vedam ekam chaturvidam. He made that one Veda into 4 parts. That one Veda was known as Yajus. That Yajus became 4. Rik, Yajur, Sama, and what was left over became Atharvaveda. And now this Veda originally is known as Chaturhotram. Actually, I forgot to tell about this thing for Chaturhotram. Why this is called Chaturhotram? Not because 4 Vedas are there. There are 4 kinds of Brahmanas who are connected to these 4 kinds of Vedas. For any sacrifice to happen, you require 4 kinds of Brahmanas. They are Hota, Brahma, Udgata, and Advayu. So these are the 4 kinds of Brahmins who are required for performing any sacrifice. These 4 kinds of Brahmins that are required. That is why Vedic literatures, they are called Chaturhotram. Now, the Hota are connected to the Rig Veda. And you have Udgata, they chant the Samaveda. And Advayur, they chant the Yajurveda. And Brahma, they chant the Atharvaveda. Of course, we can speak more detail about what each Veda is talking about. But I don't want to talk about that subject because it is a very, very technical subject. Vedas are very technical in nature. So about Veda is also very technical in nature. Many may not understand also when you speak. So now he thought, he made one Veda into 4, that is the Vyasa is called Vyasa because he became the editor of the Veda. Now 20th verse. Rig Yajur Samatar Vakya Vedas Chatvara Uddrutaha Itihasa Puranam Cha Panchamo Veda Uchate. Like yesterday, I answered a lot of questions regarding this particular thing. That is Panchama Veda Uchate. They are called the Panchama Veda. And many people don't accept Puranas are Vedic in nature. For that, those who are actually having such kind of intellectual audience, so-called intellectual audience, who try to argue such things, you should be well equipped with all the astras to answer them. And the only answer which actually saves us is the same pramana which they accept, talk about Vedas being Puranas and Itihasas being Vedic. For that, Chandogya Upanishad 7.1.4, Prabhupada quotes in the purport. He doesn't quote the verse, he just gives a number. So that number verse is the thing which actually saves our lot of time in trying to prove that Puranas and Itihasas are Vedic in nature. Yesterday I was told that instead of 2 hours continuous class, I need to speak for 1 hour and take question answers. And then speak and then take question answers. So that you all will not fall asleep or something like that. Okay. I don't mind that. Now, 21st verse. Gaha Veda Dara Palihi. What did he do? Rig Veda. He gave it to Pali. And then Gemini was given Sam Veda. Vaishampayana was given Yajur Veda. We know Gemini is a propounder of the philosophy called Karamimamsa, Purvimamsa. And Vaishampayana is a author, kind of a narrator of Mahabharata. And we know Pali Rishi is a very great personality. His name comes in Rigveda many times. And Atharvangirasam, Atharvaveda was given to Angirasa, 22nd verse. And what happened? Ityasa Purana Nampita me Romarshanaha. So, Vyasa, he called Romarshana and told, you take the Puranas and Itihasas and you establish the system of propagating. You can only protect by propagation. Actually, why we preach Krishna consciousness? Because if you don't preach, it will not be protected. Protection happens only by propagation. So, somebody asked a question yesterday about it. Now, Taye Karashayo Vedam Swam Vyasa Anekada. So what did it do? They took that Veda and made many branches and then made many disciples. In this way, Sishyahi, Parasishyahi, Tatshishrihi, Sishya, Parasishyahi, and then again there is Sishyahi, Tatshishyahi. In this way, Veda was made many branches. Of course, a number of shakas are there. Number of shakas originally, which was something. Now some shakas are only left over. Even that also, I don't know currently how much is left over. We don't want to get into figures and all. We should know there's something called shaka. Whenever you talk to a Vedic scholar, they introduce themselves belonging to a particular Veda, particular shaka. They use the shaka name very more prominent. Like you have RSS having shakas. Like that, every Veda has different shaka. Their own branch, and they have their own system of pronunciation. Of course, they're all perfect. It is not that one is better than the other or something like that. They are done by the rishis. Tayeva Veda Durmede Dharyante Purusheryata Evam Jagara Bhagavan Vyasa Kripana Vatsala. That is the time when Vyasa thought. These Vedas are meant for the Brahmanas. Tayeva Veda Durmedhair. But what about the Durmedhair? What about those people who are not very intelligent? Taryante Purusheryatha Evam Chakara Bhagavan. For those people's sake, what Vyasa did, he wrote Mahabharata and Ramayana and the Puranas. Now, the actual class starts from today. For those people, he wrote these books. That is, Stri Shudra Vijabandhuram Traina Shuti Gochara. Stri Shudra Vijabandhuram Traina Shuti Gochara. Three people. Stri, women are not supposed to chant the Veda. Oh, big controversy about it. There is a lot of feminism going on in ISKCON, outside ISKCON also. About Stri, position of woman. Clearly, Bhagavatam clear, Stri Shudra Vijabandhuram Traina Shuti Gochara. Of course, it is not that the woman cannot chant the Veda. There are some Brahmin families, very clear, we know very well. I saw them in my childhood, that they would do some sacrifices in very secret way, that no other community people can even come and attend it. Only those who are Brahmins by birth, they can attend. That is very strict in even the recent past also. Maybe 20-25 years back also, it's very strict. There are their own reasons for it. And it is a traditional reason. It is not something. Because the Veda, for the purpose of yajna, can only be chanted by Brahmins only in that particular who are trained in that particular line. But for the purpose of Stutye Vinyoga, Vinyoga means the purpose for which, how are you using it? Something is Stutye Vinyoga, Jape Vinyoga, Yajna Vinyoga. When you are using the mantras, Vedic mantras for yajna, that is the time Stri Shudra Vijabandhuram cannot even participate. But when it comes to the question of glorification, anybody can do that. So it's a wrong understanding that the ladies just cannot chant any suktas. No, it is not like that. They are not trained because they cannot be used. They cannot use those mantras in yajna. But for simple glorification of Krishna, they can do that. There is no harm in that. There is no restriction that the woman cannot chant the Veda if it is meant for glorification, glorifying Krishna. Anyhow, Sri Shudra Vijabandhuram Traina Shuti Gochara Karma Shreyasi Mudhanam. What did he do? Shreya evaha evam bhavetiha. Iti bharatam akyanam kripaya munina kritam. For those people, especially Sri Shudra Vijabandhu. Vijabandhu means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, but they are not following the principles. So, in the previous age also, nobody was called a Brahmin by birth. Nobody was called a Brahmin or a Shudra or a Vaishya just by birth. Everybody by birth is a Shudra. But sanskare bhavit vijaha. Only after sanskara, that boy is eligible to study the Veda. It is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyas all are supposed to study Veda. Go to a Gurukul and then study Veda. It is a wrong understanding. It was only for the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, not. No, all are Dvija. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. So originally it was like that. Now, Vyasa thought, I need to give some scripture to them. That is why Mahabharata he wrote. He wrote, Iti Bharatam Akyanam Shreyaha Evam Bhavediha. Even to benefit them, give the topmost benefit for Sri Shudra Vijayabandhunam, in one sense for everyone. Vyasa wrote this thing. Now, Evam Pravrittasya Sada Buddhanam Shreyasi Dvija Sarvatmakenapyada Natushye Dridhayam Tata Natushye Dridhayam Tata. So this is how the story starts. Actual story for our 2 chapters, 5th and 6th chapter. In the entire the historical incidents which have happened right from the day of creation, right from the dawn of creation, right from the time when Brahma was created. Even Brahma's creation is not a history. This is actually history. What is that history? The real history is this. The turning point in the entire history is this. What is the turning point? The turning point is, in spite of Vyasa writing all the Veda, compiling all the Vedas, not only had compiled the Veda by the time, it compiled all the Puranas. I'll answer that question. For Viniyoga, women can't participate. Why? Please answer afterwards. Yes, I'll answer it. No problem. In the entire history, there are so many events which have happened. But the event what is being described now, it's a turning point. The turning point, it is actually my realization. I'm not quoting somebody else's. So Acharya has written like that. Expressing my realization, I can do that. I'm a teacher now, I can do that. I consider there are 2 incidents in the entire history which are a turning point to the entire to the history of the world. One is, after writing all the Vedic literatures, Vyasa being dissatisfied and Narada coming and giving the Bhagavatam to Vyasa. Now, second thing, the turning point of the entire world is Srila Prabhupada writing purports to it and taking it to America. Like there are so many events in the history, historical events. 2 of my favorite events are this. One is, just imagine Veda, Supreme Lord himself telling. Supreme Lord himself telling. Just see. He gave the Vedas to Brahma. Tene Brahmaradik Adikavi. And then all the things which with knowledge means Veda. He wrote them. Not only that, in the next chapter I'm going to discuss more detail. He had written the Vedanta Sutras. He had written Mahabharata. He had written all the Puranas. In spite of that, what is written here? Natushit, he was not satisfied. Wow. He was not satisfied. Ultimately, he was not satisfied. Now, there is one verse which is going to come here. Remember that one word, that's enough for the entire chapter. Nati prasiddhe dridaya sarvatasya tate shucho priti vitarkyam viviktasta idam chovacha dharmavet. Idam cha uvacha dharmavet. he started speaking to himself. And he said that we know that Shreshi Vijaha Ena Pitada. So then Na Ati Pasakita. He was not very satisfied. Hridaya Saraswatyaha Tate Sucho. So he's sitting in the same place, Saraswatya Tate, wherever Vyasa was sitting. He starts sitting there and Vaitarkyam Viviktastaha. He was alone and then he was speaking to himself. Whenever you're not satisfied, unhappy, speak to yourself. It's a good thing. It's a kind of a process of self-realization, introspection. Vyasa did this thing. Vyasa did this thing. And then, idam chovacha dharmavit. He started speaking to himself like this. Now, it is nothing Vyasa vacha here. Vyasa is speaking to himself. Let us see what is he speaking to himself. He says that Dridavratena hi maya Dridavratena maha Chandamsi Guravo. Now, Chandamsi in the Vedic hymns, Guravaha, Agneyaha, Manitaha. I worshipped my spiritual master. I worshipped fire, in front of fire. I am not even compromised in it. Iota also compromisation is not there. I completely Dridavratena hi maya Chandamsi. Then Manita Nirvyalikena. Now, one of the important qualities of a devotee is he should not do any pretense. There was no pretension. He was so much concentrating on just one thing. How can I benefit the entire world? That was the only thought which is going on in the mind of Vyasa. Without any pretension. Grihitam cha anushashanam bharata. I wrote the Mahabharata. Mahabharata vipadeshena hi amneyartascha pradarshitaha. And what did I do in Mahabharata? I presented amneyartha. Amneya means Vedic literatures. The entire meaning of the Vedas are there in the Mahabharata. Two great rishis, Vyasa and Valmiki. They gave the entire Veda to us in the form of Mahabharata and Ramayana. Without even missing out a single point in the Vedas. Everything is given in Ramayana and Mahabharata. And there is something more in the Ramayana and Mahabharata, what is not there in the Vedas, or if it is covered in the Vedas, it is not very explicitly mentioned in the Vedas. And Srila Prabhupada in the Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, first verse, he says, in the Bhagavad Gita you will find everything what is mentioned in the Vedas and something more. So Vyasa, he Bharata Vipateshena hi amneyartascha pradarshitaha drishyate yatra dharmadi Sri Shudradivirapyuta. Even the low class, low born, Dijabandhus, women, Shudras, they can actually become familiar, get advantage. And not only that, what did Vyasa do? It is mentioned that on the pretext of writing the Vedas for Sri Shudra Dijabandhunam, he has mentioned in the Mahabharata and the Puranas something which is even confidential to the Vedas. When Krishna was going from Hastinapura to Dwaraka, then all the ladies, they came, they cannot come in front of Krishna, it is the culture. All the soldiers are there, the kings are there walking the road, and just ladies coming in front and then showing their face. It was not a culture at the time. So they went on top of the buildings. There are 4 or 5 storied buildings. There was a terrace. The terrace, the procession is going on. Krishna is in the chariot, and Yudhishthira is there waving the chamara, and Brahmanas are chanting the mantras. At the time, Krishna, they see the face of Krishna. It was so beautiful. Who are these girls? Who are these ladies? They are maid servants in the houses of the Hastinapura. So when they saw, they were captivated by the beauty of Krishna. Uttamacho shloka chetasam, Kairavendra purastrinam, Uttama shloka chetasam, Anyonyamasi sanjalpaha. Among them, they had sanjalpa. Sanjalpa means, prajalpa very well. We know this word prajalpa. Sanjalpa, prajalpa, both same. But the sanjalpa or the prajalpa of the ladies of Hastinapura, that gossip, in one sense it is gossip. The gossip of the ladies, the maid servants of Hastinapura, that gossip is Sarva Shruti Manoharaha. It is more attractive than the Vedic literatures. Even the Vedic literatures are attracted to the gossip. Why? Because that gossip had Krishna in the center. And that gossip was spoken from the consciousness of being attracted to Krishna. Their consciousness, Uttama Shloka Chetasa. So, many places, Sarva Shruti Manohara, even Ramayana, one word comes, Sarva Shruti Manohara. In the glories of Ram, glories of Krishna, spoken by devotee, that is actually far superior to Vedas, because the glories of Krishna are not directly spoken in the Vedas. Anyhow, going back to the point here, 30th verse. Tatapi batame dhiyo. Wow. What a word. Tatapi. If somebody wants to get some vairagya, number one. If somebody wants not to be puffed up, just remember one word, tatapi. Tatapi means although, tatapi. Although. Okay, I'm not so very happy now. Once I clear my examination, I'll become a graduate engineer. I'll be very happy. Tatapi, you'll be the same. No much difference. No, I will become an engineer now. If I get a job, I'll become happy. Tatapi, after getting job also like that only. No, the material world will be the same. Just because you got a job, just because you get married, doesn't mean the world changes for you. World will be the same. Dukkhayam shashvatam. Tatapi. Oh, somebody will think, once I get married, tatapi. I become a millionaire, tatapi. Don't expect much from this world. So Vyasa realization was this thing. Nobody can have a better achievement than Vyasa. Writing all the Veda, all the Puranas, 18 Puranas. Mahabharat, 1 lakh verses. Harivamsha, 25,000. 1,25,000 verses. Just imagine. You cannot create one verse. What to speak of creation? Memorizing also doesn't happen properly. Writing spontaneously. Namostate Vyasa Vishala Buddhe. 3 pranam mantras of Vyasa I taught you yesterday. It is good to learn this pranam mantras of Vyasa and chant before you sit on the Vyasasana. If your vision says, think of Vyasa, Namostate Vyasa Vishala Buddhe, Bulla Arvinda, Ruttanaitra, Vyasam Vashishtaraptaram, Shakti Stotramakarmisham, Brasharattajam Vandeshikarattam. Vyasa Vishwarupaya, Vyasarupaya Vishwaya, Namo Vai Brahmanadeva Vasishtaya Namaha. That Vyasa, he is saying Tatapi. What is our achievement? All the achievements are zero. Tatapi. Patame dhiyo hi atma chaivatmanah vibhu. Atmaha chaya evatma vibhu. Now, vibhu. What is the meaning of the word vibhu? Let us see the words here. Atmanaha chaivatmanaha vibhu. Though I was so much engrossed in knowledge and so much of austerities I've done, but what is the use? Asampannam. Asampannam. I am feeling that I have not achieved anything in my life. I'm just feeling zero in my life. Just see the heart of Vyasa, in spite of all the accomplishments, what is he feeling? Asampannamiva bhati. Asampannamiva bhati. I am feeling incomplete. Suppose somebody gives you something incomplete. Can you use it? Can you enjoy it? Oh, it's a beautiful house, but it is incomplete. We have spent 10 crores in it. But some more work is left over. AC is there, but no current is there. No wiring is there. Oh, incomplete. In the material world, Nothing is complete. Because you cannot enjoy without something being complete. Somebody gives you a nice kheer, kaju, kismis, badam, pista, so many things, wonderful things are there. The only thing is, its rice is incomplete. It's not cooked properly. Then can you enjoy? No. Now this dress is 5,000 rupees. It's got silk and that is. Only thing is buttons are not there. What is use? Until something is complete, you cannot enjoy, and nothing in this material world can be complete. You cannot enjoy. Any attainment, any position what you attain, tatapi, you'll be telling the same thing. Whether it is Anil Ambani or whether it is a beggar in the street, both have the same experience. Fact, incompleteness. Nothing great in being a rich person. There is nothing great in being a learned person. Nothing great in being beautiful. It actually useless. Whether you have 2 BHK or 1 BHK, both places you do the same thing, incomplete things only. Fight with husband and wife fight. That's all. What else happens in this world? So, Vyasa, nobody can achieve what Vyasa has achieved. In spite of that, he felt this incompleteness. If you are feeling incompleteness, that means you are perfected, you achieved some kind of completeness. Then you start thinking, I need to engross my mind in Bhagavatam. Asampanna miva bhati. Now, so he says, Asampanna miva bhati, and then asattama. Yavadi Brahma Varchasya Sattama. Brahma Varchasya Sattama. Then the word Sattama. Sattama. I find that whatever I have achieved in this world is just inferior. So I am feeling incomplete. Though I myself am fully equipped with everything required for the Vedas. Prabhupada translate this way, and he goes on saying that Srila Vyasa appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction. Lost the clue. Modern commentary on the Vedic literatures. He says that by the ultimate achievement of purification of living entity being submerged in matter is made possible by the prescribed activity of the Veda, but ultimate achievement is different. Means what? Is otherwise. Ultimate achievement is otherwise. There is no question of any proper satisfaction till we actually engross our mind in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, one more verse. Kimva Bhagavata. Then, by searching his soul searching, by contemplation, then he got an answer. An answer popped out, like something pops out in the computer when you're working. Some pop out. So it popped out from his consciousness. What popped out from Vyasa's consciousness was Kimva Bhagavata Dharma na prayena nirupitaha. Is it that maybe I must have not nirupitaha, established, described. Prayena means enough. Whatever, how much it has to be described to that extent. Maybe I have not described Bhagavata Dharma. Kimva Bhagavata Dharma na prayena nirupitaha priyaha paramahamsanam taevahi achyuta priyaha. Oh, beautiful words. You falling in love with Krishna means falling in love with the verses of Bhagavatam. Priyaha paramahamsanam taevahi achyuta priya. Just you use these words, that's enough. That gives satisfaction. What else you require in your life? Nothing else is required. These verses are there, you are there, your life is done. So, Kimma Bhagavata Dharmaha. Then he understood, yes, I have not studied the Bhagavatam. I have not established Bhagavat Dharma. Just this one realization. I have not done enough Bhagavatam. I have not read enough Bhagavatam. I have not heard enough Bhagavatam. I have not memorized enough Bhagavatam verses. That itself gives you a satisfaction, which crores of rupees will also not give. Many people coming glorifying you will not give. Just in one realization, I have not done enough. Priyaha Paramahamsanam. This Bhagavatam is very dear to Paramahamsas, very dear to devotees. Priyaha Paramahamsanam, and now Tayeva hi Achyuta Priyaha. Now when you translate the word Eva as also as English, it's also very dear to Achyuta, but actually if you really get into the grammar of Sanskrit, you know, Tayeva, and that is why it is dear to Achyuta. This satisfaction which was being felt by Vyasa is expressed here in his own words. This was felt for the normal condition of living entity, the devotional existence. This was felt for the normal condition of the living being, the devotional service of the Lord. Unless one is fixed in the normal condition of service, neither the Lord nor the living entity can become fully satisfied. Of course, Lord is also not satisfied. Yes, he is also unhappy seeing his own children unhappy. This defect was felt by him when Narad Muni, the spiritual master, reached him. It is described as follows. Further, Narad Muni comes, and what happened, that is described. Now, Vyasa, he starts contemplating. In that contemplation, he says, Paramhamsa, Nava Bhagavata, Kimva Bhagavata Dharma, Na Prayani Rupitaha, Priyaha Paramhamsanam, Ta Yevahi Achyuta Priyaha. Now, it comes in the further chapters that how the glory of Bhagavatam has been described. Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo Yasmin Pratishlokam Abadhyavatyapi Namani Rupani Shankitani Shrinvanti Gayanti Grananti Sadhavaha. So Paramahamsas means the devotees. Those devotees are devotees because they love Bhagavatam. If you want to measure how much you are a devotee, just directly see how much you have love for Bhagavatam. That's all. All the other things are secondary, they are primary thing. That is why Priyaha Paramahamsanam Tayavi Achyuta Priyaha. And going further, let us finish this chapter, then we'll go to the next chapter. Tasyevam kilamatmanam manyamanasya kidyataha Krishnasya narado bhyagat ashramam prag udahutam. Tasyevam kilam atmanam. Kilam atmanam. He was feeling so dejected, so bad. And being unhappy, that is also not a big problem. But feeling bad, feeling disgusted, that is more problem. So, khilam is a very interesting word here. Khilam, I don't know how to say in English. Inferior, this proper translated word inferior, but actually word khilam refers to, in Hindi if you say that, feel disgusted. So, tasyevam khilam atmanam manyamanasya khidyataha. Another word khidyataha is used to. Regretting, arey, what I have done. In spite I have done so much, I have not done anything. What I have done? I have done a mistake or what? Khidyataha. Then, Krishnasya Narada Abhyagat. Narada Abhyagat. He came to Vyasa. Where did he come? Ashramam Prag Udahutam. Ashram Prag Udahutam. He came to the ashram, Samyak Prasa, which has been described. Prag means before. Udahutam means it is described. So it has been described before. So the vacuum felt by Vyasa was not due to the lack of knowledge. Bhagavad Dharma is purely devotional service of the Lord, to which the monoist has no access. So this Bhagavatam can only be appreciated by devotees, not by the monoist. The monoist is not counted among Paramahamsas. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations of transcendental activity of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Vyasadeva was an empowered divinity, he still felt dissatisfaction because none of his works were transcendental activities of the Lord properly explained. The inspiration was infused by Sri Krishna directly in the heart of Vyasadeva, and thus the inspiration was infused in the heart of Vyasadeva. Now somebody may say, oh, Vyasa was an illusion, or Vyasa was dissatisfied. No. Like Arjuna was in illusion, but no. Arjuna was put into illusion by Krishna so that he can give Bhagavad Gita to all of us through Arjuna. In the same way, Vyasa was put into this kind of condition by Krishna's will. It is Krishna's Maya which is functioning for the pastime to manifest. What is the pastime? The pastime of the Bhagavatam to manifest. That is also pastime of Krishna. For Bhagavatam to manifest, there need to be a pastime. For Krishna to manifest, there need to be a pastime. In the same way, this pastime, what is happening between Narada and Vyasa, the whole Vyasa being dissatisfied, is also a pastime of Krishna. It is by the will of Krishna, Vyasa is feeling like that. Of course, that doesn't mean he is not feeling like that. He is feeling. It is a reality. Krishna's illusion is also reality. Krishna, when he is crying and is afraid of Yashoda, is he acting? Is Krishna acting as if he is afraid of Yashoda? No, he is not acting. He is actually feeling the fear which is arising from seeing Yashoda with the stick in her hand. So Narada, Abhyaga, Narada came. It is definitely expressed hearing that without the transcendental loving service of the Lord, everything is void. But in transcendental service of the Lord, everything is tangible without any separate time for footy work and empiric philosophical speculation. So that shows that how in this world, all the other processes, karma, jnana and yoga are dependent on bhakti, whereas bhakti is independent of karma, jnana and yoga. So as soon as Narada came, ashram pragudavratam, he came to the ashrama, tam abhignaya sahasa pratyutta tam abhignaya sahasa pratyutta gatam munihi pujayamasa vidivan Naradam Surapujitam. Naradam Surapujitam. Narada, who is worshipped by even great demigods. Vyasa saw Narada and he worshipped Narada Vidivat, according to Vidhi, according to the scriptures. Vidivat also refers to, Vidhi is another name of Brahma. As much as Brahma is respected, in the same way Vyasa respected Narada because Narada is a disciple of Brahma, is a son of Brahma, and he is as good as Brahma. So Vyasa respected. That is how the first chapter gets over. Narada is the second Acharya in the line of disciplic succession, and Brahma is the first Acharya. That is what Srila Prabhupada ends the purport. So then the second chapter, the fifth chapter starts, that is in our syllabus, the second chapter. Before we go into that second chapter, the fifth chapter, which has got beautiful verses. Maybe tomorrow I'll give a list of verses. We'll chant those verses in the basically the fifth chapter. Beautiful verses, section of verses, selected verses, maybe 10-15 verses I select and give it to you. We'll chant every day from today till the end of the course. 2 weeks I got, Monday to Thursday and Monday to Thursday in the following week. So if you exclude today and yesterday, it becomes 6 more days. If we chant these verses together 6 more days, then it will be wonderful. So beautiful verses are there, and these verses are quoted by Srila Prabhupada many times. Okay, so we stop here for the first session, and let me try to answer questions. For Viniyoga, women can't participate. Why? Oh. Why they cannot participate? Please answer afterwards. For Viniyoga, women cannot participate. It's a tradition. See, in one of the proofs is tradition. Tradition has to be valued. If you don't value tradition, then culture will not be there. Every time somebody will be creating many things. And the tradition is based on some principle in the Veda. What is the principle is cleanliness. Especially women and men, though bodies are different, psychology is different. And women, they have rajas, the 3 days period of contamination. In my childhood, I know there is a separate room in our house. As soon as they have this menstrual cycle starting, they go to that room and then they won't come out. Small children are there, they can only go inside naked. They cannot wear clothes. That is madi, achara. In spite of any explanation, I cannot explain. Especially to the city-bred boys and girls, this cannot be explained. Because they are not seeing certain things, certain traditional things. there can be no logic fitting into the mind of those people who have no culture. It is more cultural thing which is based on a principle of cleanliness. Very difficult to explain. So your question of why, I don't know what is your cultural background. If you are born and brought up in a city, you are a software engineer, and you have no idea what a village life is, what our Vedic tradition is. Very difficult to make anybody understand. And it is a controversial subject too, so I try to avoid myself speaking on the subject. But there is a tradition, it was very great, now it has become a history. These days, the young boys and girls don't even know. I learned cooking at the age of 8 when I was just studying in 2nd or 3rd standard. My mother was out of the house, means she cannot enter the kitchen, the main part of the house. I started cooking. I used to put, because my grandfather and grandmother were village, and I used to show this much rice. Oh, she says, yes, go put this much namak, this much. I used to show and put. So you may say it's impractical for words. This modern age, what I can do about it. So there was a culture existing, and that is a very great culture, whether you accept it or not. And that culture is based on some Vedic principle, which is absolute truth. And the culture is called Vedic culture. And very, very far away from it. So very difficult to make. I can only answer that this question cannot be really answered completely. I can only just give a information, that's all. Next question. Ravana didn't exhibit any Brahminical culture. What is it? I don't know what to do with this. Okay. Ravan didn't exhibit the qualities of Brahmana, but that of a demon. But still Ram was told to atone for killing him. Nobody told Ram to atone for killing Ravana. Ram need not atone. But again, remember, Lord Rama, Rama is Lord. He came to teach us how a human should be. God coming down to this earth to show how a human should be. We are not read Ramayana. Ram, understanding Ram. Oh, great personality. Ramayana is going on now. Every day I'm taking classes of Ramayana. Now, Ravana didn't exhibit any qualities of Ramana. Yes, that is why he's called like Rakshasa. Ravanasura. He is known as Ravanasura. Asura Sreshta. He was very happy to be addressed as Asura Sreshta. Rakshasa. So now, he was told to atone for killing him. Lord Ram, he showed to the entire world that how Ravana, I atone for Ravana killing Ravana because he is a brother of Vibhishana. I'll tell you a story what happened. One of the qualities of Rama is he has no any vesha. With vesh, there is no question of any hatred for anyone. Just imagine somebody abducts your wife. You make a hue and cry, start crying, so become angry, become mad. Ravana abducted Sita. And Ram killed Ravana. Ravana's body is lying there. It's lying down just like this. The hair scattered. And Mandodari is crying and crying and crying and crying. Lord Ram, he sees Mandodari. And he cries more than what Mandodari cried. Seeing the cry of Mandodari. Mandodari was at least crying for some time and becoming angry on Ravana and telling Ravana, you should have accepted my advice, you should have given Sita. I would have not seen this day. Becoming angry on him, again crying. But seeing Mandodari, Lord Ram's heart became melted, he started crying. It is the greatness of Ram they are described. Going further, he told Vibhishana, do the Antim Sanskar of Ravana. Vibhishana told, Antim Sanskar only happens for human beings, not for animals. My brother is an animal. Let him die and let the birds and the dogs come and eat his body. then Pancharam, Bhatram. Oh Vibhishana, I consider you to be my fifth brother. If you don't do, then I will do, because he is your brother. So this is what is to be understood. What happens is, sometimes, many times we read Ramayana, some book written by somebody. You want to read Ramayana and know what exactly is Rama. You have to read the original Ramayana by Valmiki. Then you will come to so many things. And Vittasur was a devotee, but acted as Daman, and not like Brahmana, but still Indra got reactions of killing the Brahmana. So it appears that birth in Brahmana family is a consideration. Definitely it is a consideration. For what? That is to understand. Birth in a Brahmana family is a consideration for he having some good karma in the past. But after attaining the birth of a Brahmin family, if he doesn't live according to the Brahminical qualification, then it is most sinful. The more higher the birth you have, the more higher responsibility you have. That is why Krishna addresses Arjuna as Kaunteya. He addresses Bharata, signifying his high birth from both father's and mother's line. And that shows great responsibility. Prabhupada writes in the purport. So, higher birth means higher responsibility. Higher birth and not practicing that responsibility is going to give you more sinful reactions. It is a consideration for responsibility. It is not a consideration for just some respect. Of course, it is the greatness of Rama, it is the greatness of Indra, that the system, the natural system, it follows. Rama should not be killed. That has been told in the Bhagavatam itself. When Ashwatthama was brought and he was thrown at the feet of Draupadi, Draupadi told, just leave him. She gives many reasons why he should not be killed. First one was, he was a Brahman, son of a Brahmana, as good as killing Dronacharya. And Dronacharya has given you now. If Ashwatthama is killed, Kripi will feel bad. And I know what it means to losing children. All these reasons she gives. So, definitely, it is a consideration. To what extent it is a consideration, what for it is a consideration, that also should be considered. And that is also a consideration. That is why birth in a family is a consideration. If I correct your question, it appears that the birth in a Brahmana family is also a consideration. Is also a consideration. It cannot be totally unconsidered, but at the same time, it cannot be the only consideration. So there are two factions in a society. One say birth is the only consideration. Some people say birth is not at all a consideration. Let us harmonize. Birth in a Brahmana family or any family is also a consideration, but not the only consideration. So this is how we harmonize. Hope I have somehow tried to get. Some followers of Arya Samaj, I heard saying all Vedas are revealed to Angira Rishi. Why they have got this kind of understanding? Are they not aware of Vyasadeva as the original compiler of Vedas? Okay, now your question itself is answered. First, Vyasa is only a compiler. He is not one who revealed the mantras in the Vedas. Vyasa, like for example, Chandogya, Upanishad. So there was one Rishi who has revealed it. There are Taittiriya. There are many Rishis. Agastya, he revealed certain part of the Veda. Vyasa is a compiler only. Now, Arya Samaj, they are demons in the form of Vedic followers. The number one demons. It is the Britishers who created this Arya Samaj. And somehow, it is the Britishers who have made Arya Samaj as if they are the whole and sole proprietorship over Hinduism. If you want to call yourself Hindu, you should get a certificate from Arya Samaj. But They are actually Britishers. They are Indian-bodied men with a Britisher's brain inside it, Britisher's ideology inside it. It was created by the British intellectuals of the British to destroy people's faith in the Veda. They'll be practicing Veda, but not according to the traditions. None of the Shakas or the Vedic Shakas, they accept Arya Samaj as bona fide. I know at least 4 or 5 Shakas. 2 in Andhra Pradesh, 1 in Tamil Nadu, 1 in Karnataka. I know the teachers. And they have the list with them, their teacher's name, their teacher's name, their teacher's name, all the way minimum up to Shankaracharya time, 2500 years back. Till that time, they have the names. I learned from him, he learned from me, he learned from me. They have the system. And none of them accept Arya Samaj. See, just because some society becomes popular, that doesn't mean they have the proprietorship over the Vedas. No. So I don't want to much comment about them. Of course, they don't accept Veda Vyasa much because it is Veda Vyasa who wrote the Puranas, and that is the reason they don't give much prominence to Veda Vyasa. They take some of the name, and also their understanding everything came to Angira. That is also wrong. It is only one section of the Veda which came to Angira. Okay. 1.4.32 action. Monists have no access to Bhagavad Dharma. Monists not counted among Paramahamsas. When glorifying Sukadeva Goswami, he is described as Mahayogi, a great devotee, and also Nirvikalpakaha, absolute monist. Please explain why Srila Prabhupada is being called as absolute monist. Now, when you come to the English translations of Sanskrit words, English language is an inadequate, insufficient language. When Srila Prabhupada used the word monist, there are 2 meanings to it. One is, it refers to Mayavadis. Another is refers to Brahmavadis. The technical terms are like this. When you say Sukadeva Goswami was a perfect monoist, it means that he was a Brahmavadi. The Brahmavadis are described in the Bhagavatam as Vadanti Tattva Vidaha. Tattva Vidaha Tattvam Yadgyanam Advayam Brahmeti Paramatmiti Bhagavanicham. So those who are Tattvavit, Mahabaho Gunakarma Bhavya, those who are Tattvavit, but they don't have attraction for lotus feet of Krishna. It is not that they consider Krishna's body to be material. They don't consider that there is some impersonal Brahman, and that impersonal Brahman, when it is covered by Maya, the Vidya potency of Maya, that impersonal Brahman becomes Ishvara or Krishna or Rama. That is not their philosophy. That was not the philosophy of Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami was simply engrossed in Brahman realization. He had no asadbhavat. Asadbhava towards Krishna's lotus feet was not there. That is why Enye Naravindaksha Muktamaninas Tvai Asadbhavat Avishuddha Buddhayaha. Sukadeva Goswami did not have this. But so-called Jnanis who think by liberation one becomes God, they are also sometimes called monaists. Prabhupada's words, sometimes monaist refers to the Mayavadis, sometimes when he is describing Sukadeva Goswami, the 4 Kumaras, the monaist refers to the Brahmavadis. Brahmavadis are not Krishna aparadis, whereas Mayavadis are Krishna aparadis. There is a description. So, Nirvikalpakaha and all these words to be, when it is glorifying a particular personality, we should know who is the person and understand a particular way. Like impersonalist. Both Nirakarvadis are impersonalists, both Brahmavadis and Mayavadis, both are impersonalists. But Brahmavadis go to Brahman, Mayavadis don't go to Brahman. They go to hell because of their offense towards Krishna. So Mayavadis are Krishna Paradis. The 4 Kumaras, they were mind. The whole purpose of Bhagavatam, bringing Sukadeva Goswami into the picture, is to show, what to show? Rasamalayam. If you are carefully studied Bhagavatam, the 3rd verse, beautiful verse. Beautiful verse. Muraho rasika bhui bhavukaha. Nigamakalpataroor galitam phalam sukam kwadam pradrasammitam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muraho rasika bhui bhavukaha. So, rasamalayam. What is the meaning of rasamalayam? Layaha. Paryantam layaha. To the extent of you go on relishing Bhagavatam, drinking Bhagavatam till you sleep. And you go on relishing Bhagavatam after you sleep. Laya means sleep. Next, Laya means death. You go on hearing Bhagavatam, you die. And after death, again take birth and read Bhagavatam, study Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam, relish Bhagavatam. Laya also means liberation. You go on hearing Bhagavatam, drink Bhagavatam till the time you are liberated. And after that, what do you do? Paryantam. Continue. Layaha. So, even the liberated souls, they relish Bhagavatam. For that purpose, Sukadeva Goswami is brought. He was shown as an impersonalist. He was shown as a monist. Otherwise, he is a parrot of Radharani. As much as Vyasa was shown as if he is dissatisfied. He is God himself. Arjuna was showed as if he is into illusion. In the same way, here, Sukadeva Goswami, in the story, Krishna has presented him as a Brahmavadi to show and prove this verse. Atma Ramascha Manayo Nirgranta Purakrame Purvante Dukim Bhaktim Mitham Bhutagano Hari. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained this verse in so many ways to Sarvabhattacharya, Prakashan Saraswati. Oh, so beautiful, Sanatana Goswami. Same verse. He gives so many different commentaries. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains these words in many, many verses. Sometimes you should study the entire section. Atma Rama verse being explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why that verse is explained so much? Because the entire Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamalam, is only to prove the nature of this verse, to prove prove this verse practically. Atma Ramascha, which is going to come in the 7th chapter. That is Sukadeva Goswami's come. Now, glorification of Lord in Puranas like Vishnu Purana and Padma Purana appears to be spotless glorification. There is a great regard to Vishnu Purana in Sri Sampradaya and also by Sridhar Swami. Still, Vyasadeva was not satisfied. How to understand this? Jai. Vishnu Purana was written by his own father Parashara. First thing is to be understood. So, Parashara Muni, he wrote the Vishnu Purana. Every Sampradaya has a particular rasa. And Sri Sampradaya has its own way of relating, their own way of relating themselves to the Lord. Then Ramanuja, Mahapurna took Ramanuja to Srirangam, that Yamunacharya wants to see you, please come. He told, I just give water and come back. He went to Varadaraj and gave water and he came back. And Mahapurna and Periyanambi Mahapurna and both Ramanuja, they came running. And they saw by the time near Kaveri, there were many people there. And Yamunacharya had his party. Ramanuja was so depressed, he paid obeisances, parikrama. And he saw 3 fingers were there. One of the fingers which was folded by Yamunacharya, as soon as Ramanuja told, the first one he told was, I will give a commentary in Vishnu Purana and make Parashara, Vishnu Purana, very famous, and name one of my disciples as Parashara. That is how Puresha's son, 2 children, 2 twins, were named by Ramanuja as Parashara Bhatta and Vyasa Bhatta. So they were born from the womb of Andal, the wife of Puresha, by eating Aravanai Prasadam, the night Prasadam. Next time when you go to Srirangam, you wait till 9 o'clock, 9:30 near the Prasadam hall, hang out and then ask them, give me Aravanai Prasadam. Aravanai. Aravanai. It's the last bhoga of Ranganatha is very opulent bhoga. So that was accepted by, that was sent by Ranganatha to Parashara Bhatta's house. Puresha's house, of course. Then from the womb of Andal, they both accepted it. From their womb of Andal, 2 beautiful children were born. One was Parashara Bhatta, Vyasa Bhatta. Parashara Bhatta was so wonderful that Ranganagi told, please give this boy to us, 2 boys to us, and we want to take care. He is my child. In this way, in Srirangam, you have Ranganatha. When you go to have darshan of Ranganatha, along with darshan of Ranganatha, you have 2 pillars are there, just near the place where you stand and see. They are known as Amodastambha. So it is like this. When you see Ranganatha, he's like an ocean of Madhurya, ocean of sweetness. In the ocean, there are waves. When the waves come and hit you, what happens? You just fall behind. So not to fall behind, you have to hold those stambhas, Amoda stambhas, and then have darshan of Ranganatha. And what used to happen? Ranganayaki would tie a sari between the 2 pillars and make this child Rashvata sleep. Of course, you spoke of Parashara, Vishnu Purana, so I'm just remembering all these things. So what happens is Parashara Bhatta, he wrote Vishnu Purana. Not Parashara, Parashara wrote Vishnu Purana. So this Vishnu Purana becomes the heart and soul of the Sri Vaishnavas because that talks about the Dasya Rasa so wonderfully that no other Purana talks about Dasya Rasa as much as Vishnu Purana talks about. And Vishnu Purana, it also talks about the Ramayana Rahasyas, certain things which are not revealed very explicitly in Ramayana Valmiki, that this Vishnu Purana talks about. And Ramayana becomes the very interesting Ashtadha Rahasyas of the Sri Vaishnavas are hidden in the Ramayana. In this way, there is a subtle connection between Vishnu Purana, Ramayana, and their whole life and soul Dasya Rasa and Prapatti, which is actually a very important feature of surrender, which Bhaktivinoda Thakur took so many wonderful points from the Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya and told our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya is built on the foundation of Ramanuja Sampradaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu built the Prema Mandir, Ramanuja Sampradaya, Nitya Swarup. In this way, for 2 purposes, two purposes in summarize. One is Dasya Rasa, which is very nicely described in Vishnu Purana, and not much of Madhurya is there. Not even in its Aishwaryukta, Jnana-yukta Madhurya has been described. Number 2 is Rahasyas, Ashtadasha Rahasyas, which are hidden in the Ramayana, are mentioned in the Puranas. Vishnu Purana, that is where we find it. Anyhow, this is next. Laya Paryantam. Hare Krishna. Scriptures extol the service and worship of Brahmanas. What is the denotation of the word Brahmanas for Gaudiya Vaishnava? Okay. When you say Brahmana, in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, is a Brahmana. In what context are you using? That also you had to say. Whenever the scriptures say a Brahmana was there, it means he was born in a Brahmin family. There was a poor Brahmin and he had no children. Suppose some Purana talks about. What does it mean? There, the Brahmana means he was born in a Brahmin family. But now here, we say Brahmana. In the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, according to Mura Prabhupada, we say Brahmana, one who is actually manifesting the qualities of Brahmana. Generally, we don't use the word these are Brahmanas. We say Brahmin initiated devotees. We have to play safe. We say Brahmin initiated. What does that mean? They are certified by their guru that they can enter the altar and do some seva, they can touch fire and cook. So, we call ourselves Brahmin initiated devotees. To say if you are a Brahmana, it means you need to manifest the qualities of Brahmana. If you say a Brahmin initiated means, okay, whether you have qualification or not qualification, somehow you have been certified, you got a Yogavita, and you can worship the deities, you can attend the deity department seminar, meeting, and then you can go in the altar and do something. So anyway, I'm just joking and told like this. But in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, when you use the word Brahmana, it clearly shows that we have accepted the Pancharatric initiation. Now, we say first initiation, second initiation. First initiation and second initiation are actually one initiation in 2 parts. In the initiation process, there are 5. Pancharatrik initiation process. Pancharatrik Diksha. Tava Pundata Nama Mantro Yagasya Panchama Avihi Panchasanskara Paramikanti Hetava. Memorize this first. I think somebody is a computer expert. You can find this first on the internet and put it for everyone. Tava Pundata Nama Mantro Yagasya Panchama. Tapa means Kantimala. Pundra means Tilak. Nama. These 3 things are given in the first initiation. Mantro Yaga, mantra, that is Gayatri, 7 Gayatri's. Yaga, deity worship. These 2 things are given in the second initiation. Actually, Prabhupada, he made a system like this. He divided his 5 things into 2 parts, 3 and 2. Originally, even in the Gaudiya Math, they used to give only 1 initiation for Brahmin initiation, other one was not called initiation at all. The first one. But for the sake of organization, Prabhupada, he has the right to change it. And he did it. He broke first 3, he gave the first initiation, the second 2 gave him second initiation, called Brahmin initiation. So it's called Pancharatrik Diksha. Anybody born in any family, provided he follows the principles of Pancharatra system 100%, he can be given initiation and he has to be respected as much as a Brahmana. And he can be allowed to do all the functions of Brahmana containing the Pancharatra, not the Vaidika. Anyway, that's about a lot of controversy about it. I don't get into that. But what we get is only Pancharatric Brahmana initiation. We don't get Vaidika. What we get is Pancharatric. And that is far superior to the Vaidika because it is exclusively meant for worshipping Krishna. Now, I don't know what happened. Lose connection. Now, is the voice okay now? Can anybody say, is the voice okay? Voice is not okay. How is it? I did not meddle with anything. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Some internet issue. Internet is also there. Connected. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Reconnect. Meeting. Okay, I'm reconnecting.
Now, go to the second chapter now. Second chapter means the fifth chapter. Sutta Uvacha. First canto, fifth chapter, first verse. Please listen to me. Just keep this. Face is seen. अथातं सुखमासीनम् उपासीनं बृहच्छ्रवः देवर्षि प्राह विप्रर्षिं वीणापाणिः स्मयन्निव. No, Narada has arrived there. Tatah tam sukham asinam. So when a great personality he comes to our house, it is always good that we offer him a seat. Thus tam sukham asinam. Sukham asinam means you keep him you give a nice place where he can sit. Like the sage of Naimisharanya also, they gave a nice place for Sutta Goswami to sit. When Sutta Goswami came to Sutta Goswami was there, all the sages of Naimisharanya, they also made Sutta Goswami sit on a Vyasasana. Naimisharanya Kshetre, Dasha Saunakadaya, Satam Sargaya Lokaya, Sahasra Samasana, Samasana. And then immediately they saw Sutta Goswami and they made him sit on a raised platform, and then Praprachur Idamadarat. Praprachur Idamadarat. They asked with great respect. So Vyasa also made Narada sit on a nice asana. Upasinam Brihatshravah. The word Brihatshravah means one who is well learned, highly learned. Devarishi Prashim Vina Pani Smayanniva. He was smiling and then he spoke like this. Narada directly spoke to Vyasa. So let us see what Narada spoke to Vyasa. Second verse. Narada Uvacha Parascharya Mahabhaga. Parascharya Mahabhaga. Parascharya. Who is Parashara? We know, just heard about Parashara, who wrote the Vishnu Purana. And Vyasa is here known as Parascharya Mahabhaga. He is known as the son of Parashara. He being the son of Parashara is being addressed as Parascharya Mahabhaga. You are very fortunate. What is the fortune of yours? That is, you are not the ordinary person. You are the son of Parashara Muni. Parashara is not the ordinary person. Parashara's father is Sukha. Sukha's father is Shakti. Shakti's father is Vasishta. Vyasam Vasishta Naktaram Shakte Pautramakarmasham Parasharatmajam Mande Suganatam Taponidim. Vasishta personally taught Parashara. Vasishta was very unhappy because Vishwamitra, with the help of Kalmashapada, he destroyed the entire Gurukul of Vasishta. 16,000 children used to study in Vasishta's Gurukul. And everything was taught. People from all over the world used to come and study in Vasishta's ashrama. Then Vishwamitra, he, with the help of all the Kshatriyas, especially Kalmashapada, he destroyed the ashram. In such an extent, not a single disciple was left. The attack of Kshatriya forces on the Brahminical forces it's not only today during the British. Even Vishwamitra did it. Of course, Vishwamitra did Prayaschitta by doing tapasya. The Britishers have not done it till now. That is why they are suffering. Of course, I don't want to get into the socio-political aspect of our scriptures. Shakti had a wife, and Parashara's daughter-in-law, Vasishta's daughter-in-law. Vasishta could hear some Vedic mantras being chanted. He was searching around, who is he chanting so nicely? Who is he chanting so nicely? And he went and asked his daughter-in-law, who is chanting? And she told, the child in my womb is chanting Veda. Your son, before he was killed by these Kshatriyas, He actually impregnated me. I am actually pregnant. Then when this boy was born, Parashara was born, then Vasishtha thought, one great personality is enough to revive the entire Vedic culture, entire Vedic knowledge. That is Parashara. So Vasishtha, through Parashara, he revived the entire Vedic knowledge. Of course, these are all Brihat Purana. They are all great histories of this land. So such Parashara's son. To be son of such Parashara is not ordinary. Parascharya Mahabhaga, you are a great personality, Mahabhaga. Bhavataha kvachid atmana paritushyeti sharira atma manasa evava. You always know when Narada speaks something, it will be always very comical but very serious. Very serious, and it presents in such a very simple way. Very difficult to understand the mind of Narada. Narada is a great sage, Manasputra Brahma. He is going to describe his own story in the next chapter to describe the glory of bhakti. So now, I'll just read the translation and purport and get into the intricacy of this verse. Addressing Vyasadeva, the son of Parashara, Narada inquired, are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind? Are you satisfied with this thing? By identifying the body or the mind as the object of self-realization? So this was a hint by Narada to Vyasadeva regarding the cause of his despondency. Vyasadeva, as a descendant of Parashara, a greatly powerful sage, had the privilege of having a great parentage which should not have given Vyasadeva the cause of despondency. Now again, when it comes to birth, just imagine, Vyasa is born to Parashara, such a great personality. So since he has born to such a great personality, we cannot say that Vyasa should be like this. Being born to such a great personality, he should be always happy. Why is it so that in spite of being born to such a great personality, he is having this kind of despondency? Now, being a great son of a father, he should not have identified the self. The reason is, he has identified the self with the body or the mind. Ordinary man with poor fund of knowledge can identify the body as a self or the mind as self. But Vyasa should not have done so. One cannot be cheerful by nature unless one is factually situated in self-realization, which is transcendental to the material body and mind. Now you examine the verse here. He is very comically putting a question. It's a question. What is Atmana Paritushyeta? Can your mind be Paritushyeta? Manasa, Atma, can it be Paritushyeta? Can it be really happy? Sharira, Atma, Manasa, Evava. Now here, Sharira means body and Atma, Manasa. Now here, when you consider Sharira as the Atma, when you consider body as to be the self, can you be happy? Atma, Manasa. When you consider Manasa as the body, that means when you consider the mind to be the soul, that means body. That means there are two kinds of misidentification. You have heard about Dehatma Buddhi very nicely. What is the meaning of Dehatma Buddhi? To consider Deha to be the Atma, Deha, body to be the soul. Another confusion is to consider mind to be the soul. Two kinds of confusion. One is trying to enjoy this body in this world, and other is trying to enjoy in multiple bodies. That means your identification with subtle body. There are two kinds of ignorance. One is to consider the body to be the self, the gross body to be the self, and other one is the subtle body to be the self. When somebody considers subtle body to be the self, he does yajna and yagas, does karma kanda and go to the next life, heaven, and try to enjoy. When somebody considers the body to be the self, this gross body to be the self, tries to do some fruitive activities in this world and try to enjoy this world. In both the cases, the desire is to enjoy the gross body or subtle body. So Narada, by using these three terms, Atma, Sharira, Atma, Manasa, Eva, he says, can anybody be Kvachit Atmana Paritushyata? Can anybody be satisfied? No. The answer is no, clear no. But he is asking a very intricate question like this, intriguing questions. Now, third verse. Then Vyasa may say, no, I am not really happy because I have not given some transcendental knowledge. I don't have scriptural knowledge. Somebody may argue, maybe Vyasa doesn't have knowledge of the scriptures, that is why I'm happy. And Narada says, no. Jigyasitam susampannam apite mahadabhudam kritavan bharatam yastam sarvartha paribrimhitam. Oh, Vyasa, your dissatisfaction is not because you don't have scriptural knowledge, because you have so much of scriptural knowledge. What is the proof for it? Because you have written Mahabharatam. Kritavan Bharatam Yastvam. Since you have wrote Mahabharata, and what is Mahabharata? What all is found in the Vedic literatures, everything is contained in the Mahabharata. So there is no problem of you lacking scriptural knowledge, but still you are not satisfied. So there must be some other reason. Just because somebody has the knowledge of scriptures, that doesn't mean he can be satisfied. He should have something more than the knowledge of scriptures. What is that? A relish what is there in the scripture. So Bhagavatam is not only just a scripture which gives you some knowledge, not only a scripture which gives you some realization, but it gives a thing which no other scripture can give you as much as Bhagavatam can give, that is relishment. That is why Muhuraho Rasika Bhui Bhavaka. Only those who are Bhavukas, they can relish Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam is not meant to just read or study or even to just memorize. It is meant for relishing. That relishment was not there. In Rasvadana was not there in Vyasa. That is why, you have scriptural knowledge. That is why Prabhupada says the despondency of Vyasa was certainly not due to the lack of sufficient knowledge. Because a student, he fully inquired from the Vedic literatures. That is why it says, Jignasitam Susampannam. He has answered all the questions in the Mahabharata. There are some answers to such questions which may not be evidently found in the Vedas, but can be evidently found in the Mahabharata. 1 lakh verses, 100,000 verses. They put together 25,000, 1,25,000 verses. It answers everything. Social, political, economic, you name a subject matter, everything is in the Mahabharata. If somebody wants to learn material education, just teach the Mahabharata. He will have everything. Dharma, Niti, different kinds of Niti, Vidura Niti, so many wonderful things are there in the Mahabharata. Now, Kritavan Bharatam Yastam, Sarvartha Paribrimhitam. Sarvartha Paribrimhitam. Upabrimhitam. Sarvartha Paribrimhitam, Upabrimhitam. Now, there is a terminology called Upabrimhitam, and other is known as Paribrimhitam. These are the corollary scriptures of the Vedic literatures. Vedopabrimhanartaya, Veda Paribrimhanartaya. To re-explain the Veda or to summarize the Veda, Ramayana and Mahabharata written. Of course, I will not go into the terminologies because it will be very confusing for you. Going further. Jignasitam susampannam jignasimaditicha brahmayattat sanatanam tatap sochasyatmanaha akritartha iva prabhu. If you remember, I had told you to memorize one word for today's class. Tatapi, tatapi, tatapi. 3 times it comes, this word tatapi. One, in the previous chapter, we know that Vyasa, tatapi, he thought maybe I, in spite of all these things I have done, still I am not very convinced and very happy. And again, 4th verse, tatapi comes. And 5th verse also tatapi comes. Vyasa also tells tatapi. Tatapi is told by Vyasa twice. In the previous chapter and the 5th verse in this chapter. Narada says, Jignasitam susampan jignasitam adikam cha brahma yattat sanatanam tatapi sochasyatmanaha akritartha iva prabhu. Tatapi sochasyatmanaha akritartha iva prabhu. Now somebody may say, oh, Vyasa may say to Narada, maybe I am not satisfied because of I have not described the Supreme Lord enough. Then Narada says, no. Jignasitam aditam cha, to the extent of your inquiry can go, to whatever extent your inquiry can go, your mind can inquire. All the answers you have nicely, logically presented in the Vedanta Sutras. That means you have written Vedanta Sutras, which gives you not only just some scriptural knowledge, but it gives you the realized knowledge of the scriptures. Brahma yattat sanatanam tatapi sochasyatma kritartha adita means realization. The realized knowledge, the absolute truth is also given in the Vedanta Sutras. But still, tatapi sochasyatmanaha. What is the meaning of sochasyatmanaha? You are just in lamentation. Sochati, this word comes in the Bhagavad Gita many times. The very first verse which Krishna actually teaches Bhagavad Gita, Asochan, Anvasotastam, Prajnavadam, again in the middle, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatma, Na Sochati, and again at the end, Sarvadharman Parityaja, Mamekam Sharanam Vaja, Aham Tvam Sarvapi Mokshishai Ma Shuchaha. So, even his tatapi sochasyatmanaha, Atmanam, Akritartha iva Prabhu. Akritartha. Akritartha means as if you have not done anything. Akritartha, undone. Somebody is sitting in front of a 22-storied building, and then somebody goes and says, what happened to you? I built a 22-story building, I don't know what I've done. Huh? So you built such a big building and sitting as if you've not done anything. I just finished my IIT and got a gold medal. And you got a gold medal and sitting as if you've done nothing. It is good actually. At least Vyasa has realized that in spite of all the achievements, whatever he has done, still he was not satisfied, he was not acting as if satisfied. He achieved something. Anybody in this world who are big achievers, so-called successful people in their life, if they are sincere to themselves, they can find out the same experience which Vyasa is having. If they want to artificially boast for, they can artificially boast for even being in charge of a toilet. Earning 2,000 rupees a month and then be satisfied, be very think I have done a great thing. Tatapi sochasyatmanaha. Atmanam akritartha iva Prabhu. You are sitting as if he has not done anything. So why lamenting? So 3 verses Narada says. Prarasati Mahabhaga Bhavata Kuchitatmana Paritushyetu Sarira Atma Manasa Eva Jignasa Susampannam Abhite Mahadadbhutam Yatavan Bharatam Yastam Sarvartha Paribhimtam. And the 4th verse, Jignasitam Ididamcha Brahma Yattat Sanatanam Tabi Sochasyatmanaha Akritartha Iva. So in these 3 verses, Narada is in one sense instigating Vyasa. Now Vyasa is surrendering to Narada in the next 3 verses. Let us see how Vyasa surrenders to Narada. Vyasa Vacha. Astheva me sarvamidam payoktam tatapi natma paridoshyate me तन्मूलमव्यक्तमगाधबोधम् पृच्छामहे त्वात्मभवात्मभूतम्. Oh, my dear spiritual master, Vyasa tells Narada, you are my spiritual master. Who knows better about the disciple than the spiritual master? Then he says, Astiva me sarvamidam tayuktam, surrender. Oh my Guru, spiritual master, whatever you have told to me, that I am not satisfied, Astiva me, it means it is perfect. Like sometimes the spiritual master asks the disciple, hope everything is fine. The disciple says, fine, Maharaj. Fine. What is fine? You're not able to chant 60 rounds properly. Not able to control the mind. Nothing is fine. But when the spiritual master says, hey, something wrong with you, he says, no, everything is perfect. Vyasa did not just try to justify that everything is perfect. When the spiritual master tried to correct the disciple expresses surrender by saying, yes, oh spiritual master, whatever you are saying about me is truth. In spite of all my achievements, I am not really satisfied. That aswadana is not there. Namaswadana is not there. Bhagavad aswadana is not there. Astiva me sarvamidam tvayoktam. Not a single thing which you have told is wrong. It is asti. It is fact. It is not just some speculation of yours. You are not speculating about me. You are able to penetrate through my heart and see what's going on in my heart. That is the power of the spiritual master. He can see what's going on in the heart of the disciple. Like when a spiritual master says, are you chanting nicely? What does it mean? Is some garbage there? Accept it, yes. There's some garbage is going on. So, Vyasa is Astiva me sarvamidam prayoktam. Whatever you are told, it is perfect. Now, other part, what you're told, you're asking me a question. What is wrong with you? Tatapi natma paritushyamete tad moolam. What is wrong with me is na paritushya. I am not happy. In spite of all the achievements, I am not happy. Whatever you told about is truth. But the reason, tan moolam, avyaktam, it is not manifest to me. It is not manifest to me. What is the root cause of my dissatisfaction? You are asking me, why are you dissatisfied? I am asking the same question to you, oh my dear spiritual master. I don't know the root cause of my dissatisfaction. Because I am ignorant. How can an ignorant person know what is the cause of his ignorance? What is the cause of his dissatisfaction? When the patient comes to the doctor is saying, hey, what is your problem? Patient says, that is why I come to you. If I know the problem, I will have some solution. First, find out the problem. I am in such a condition that I don't even know what is my problem. What is the root cause of my problem? How can I know the solution? Agada bodham prichamahe tvam bhavatma bhutam. Tvatma bhavatma bhutam. You are born from Atma Bhuta, that is Brahma, who is born from Vishnu. Atma Bhavaha, self-born. Atma Bhutam. So, you are Narada. You are directly born from Brahma, who is also Atma Bhuta. You are also Atma Bhuta. So, Atma Bhava, Atma Bhutam. You are born from Brahma. So, you are self-born. You have only father and mother, only one. Even Brahma also had father, only one father, who is also mother also. Narada was also born from Brahma. He had no separate mother and father. Father and mother were one only, one Atma. So, Prichamahe, I am asking you, because I by myself cannot find out what is the reason for my problem. So, Srila Prabhupada says, in the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body or the mind with the self. As such, all knowledge disseminated in the material world is related either with the body or with the mind. And that is not the root cause of all the despondencies. That is the root cause of all the despondencies. That is not always detected. Even though one may be the greatest erudite scholar of material materialistic knowledge, it is good, therefore, to approach a personality like Narada to solve the root cause of all the despondencies. Why Narada should be approached is explained now in the further verse. Now, Narada is, one should approach the person like Narada because Narada is as good as the Supreme Lord. Now, Narada is compared to Krishna. And it says, Savai Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam Upasito Yat Purushat Puranaha Paravaresho Manasaiva Vishwam Sujatyavatyati Gunaira Sangaha Sujatyavatyati Gunaira Sangaha. My Lord, everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the world and the maintainer of the spiritual world, original personality God, who is transcendental to three modes. Savai Bhavan Veda Samasta Guhyam. Lord, you are who? You are actually Krishna himself. Savai Bhavan. Since you are incarnation of Supreme Lord, Bhakti Shakti Avesh Avatar. Since you are Bhakti Shakti Avesh Avatar, I'm asking you, Veda Samasta Guhyam, you know everything. Now, if you remember, in the previous, in a few verses before, Vyasa told Narada that Narada actually told Vyasa, Parasarya Mahabhaga, you are the son of Parashara. Now you are who? You are son of Brahma. Not only the son of Brahma, you are the Supreme Lord yourself. You told me that I am belonging to great of Parashara, but you also are no less. O Lord, you are Brahma's, you are son of Brahma, and you are as good as the Supreme Lord because you are Bhakti Shakti Avesh Avatar, Upasito Yatu Purushaha Puranaha. Upasitaha. Because you worship the Supreme Lord so much. Paravaresho Manaseva Vishwam. Who is the Supreme Lord? Who is Vishwam Srijat Yavatyati Gunaira Sangaha. He worships Supreme Lord, who creates, maintains, and destroys this world. At the same time, he is not attached, he is not influenced with the modes of nature. In this way, Narada, he glorified. I'm asking you because as good as Supreme Personality, God worshipped him very nicely, and Parayeshu, he is actually the Lord of the material world. He has created this world, and he uses this world, and ultimately destroys this world at this time, not at all being attached to this world beyond the modes of nature. Now, after speaking like this, in the next verse, Paryanta narkaivat trilokin antascharo vayurivatma sakshi paravare brahmane dharmato vratai nadasya me nyunamalam vichakshava. Vyasa tells Narada, oh, you are the original person. That means he is addressing the Narada as the Supreme Lord. Tvam paryatan arka iva trilokim. First he compares Narada to his son. Son is Sakshi everywhere. He's going, he's one of the Sakshis. He's present everywhere. And Antascharo Vayu Rivatma Sakshi. And you're also like the air. Two comparisons he does. You're like the sun who sees the entire world outside. Sun can see everything in the world outside. What about inside? Inside we have Vayus. Pranavayu is there. And you are like the Pranavayu who is there inside me, and you know better about me because you are Atma Sakshi. A disciple by himself cannot know what's happening in his own heart, but a spiritual master can know. Because spiritual master has eyes through which he can see what's going in the heart of the disciple. Paravare Brahmani Dharmato Ratehi. Paravare, Though I have become, if you say, I'm very proficient in the Vedas, but still, it is not enough. Snatasya me noonam alam vichakshava. I find whatever vows I have taken, whatever different sacrifices I have done, whatever Vedic literatures I have written, but all these things are of no use. It is very insufficient to make myself satisfied. That is why he says, I have dharmataha. I practice dharma very nicely. And I have described the Supreme Lord, Brahmani, very nicely in the Vedic literatures. And I have practiced so many vratas, but still, alam is not very clear. Nyunam alam vichakshava ne nyunam. So many deficiencies are there, especially why I am feeling indeficiency because of not able to relish on the platform of the soul. Specifically, I want to know what actually makes the soul happy. Dharma, vrata, and philosophical description of the absolute truth. Para, avare, with both cause and effect, all these kind of descriptions in the Vedanta Sutras. Dharma described in the Mahabharata, not different vratas described in the Vedic literatures. All these things are not going to satisfy anybody. When the author, I myself am not satisfied neither with dharma, nor with the philosophical description of the absolute truth, nor with the vratas, nor with anything which I have done in my life. And how can a person who is practicing what I have told in the scriptures be satisfied? I find it nunam alam, insufficient. Transcendentation, pious activities, worshipping the deities, charity, mercifulness, non-violence, studying all the scriptures, and the script will always be helpful, but will not be going to satisfy the soul. So I want to hear from you which satisfies the soul. So now you please consider these three verses which I have spoken to you. I am not satisfied, though I have done all these things, dharma, vrata, etc. Number two, you are a great personality, as good as the Supreme Lord. And more than that, you know what's going on in my heart. What is the reason for my dissatisfaction? So better you only tell what is the cause of dissatisfaction and answer give a solution to become satisfied. In this way, we finish for today. And if you have any questions, please ask so that we can finish for today. Hare Krishna. So if there are no questions, we can stop now. Okay, 1.4.31, Vyasa himself find out the root cause of his despondency. But 1.5.5 again asking for answer. Can you kindly reconcile and explain the principle behind such a dealing? If you see the 1.4.31, in that, what are the words? There was a doubt which Vyasa had. He understood this is the reason, but there is maybe this must be the reason. It was not a confirmation. Like, let me read the verse for you. So all of you open this 31. Kimva. So see the word Kimva. How do you say in English? Va. Is it that Bhagavadharma, Naprayani Nirupika? Is that the reason? So when you do introspection, you will find a reason, but there will be doubt in that reason. Is it or what? Because Vyasa is not ordinary person. He is a Supreme Lord's incarnation only. Definitely he has realized. But what he has realized, he should become clear only when he approaches spiritual master. So sometimes or many times we know what is the problem, but that becomes clear only when we surrender to a spiritual master. Shobha Shatagune. I may read the scripture, I may contemplate, I may get some understanding, but that understanding becomes clear when I see that scriptures on the head of the spiritual master. Same scripture. You are all preachers. Most of you are preachers. How many people must have told you, Prabhuji, when I hear your class, this word became very clear. That means the person who is telling, he is telling that there was some understanding about this verse, but the clarity was not there. So somebody wrote a just don't know what to do. A message came, but in a private chat. You have to go to chat here. So next, somebody wrote, Prabhuji, yesterday you said that you will be telling about the content of the Vedas today. Okay, I don't have a file in front of me. What I'll do is I'll send it to, I don't know how to put it here. I'll send to Prabhuji, and Prabhuji will send a mail to me, so he can share with you, so that you can study that thing, and others also can study, where we can have content of the Vedas. One page only. Each Veda, what it is talking about, how many shakas are there, that I'll tell you. Because it's more informative, it is better I give it in a written format. So the next question is, in ISKCON, we don't get to interact with spiritual master much. So how do we understand the spiritual master is able to see our exact problem? Oh, you are a very practical and a very genuine question. Your spiritual master means not just one person, the system created by your spiritual master. In ISKCON, we have a system. We have Prabhupada, we have your spiritual master, and your spiritual master setting up, of course, ISKCON system, ISKCON management, and the spiritual master setting up temple president. The temple president is actually the representative of spiritual master. So when the temple becomes very big, and the congregation becomes very big, and the temple president makes a system of counselor, devotee care system, mentor, many names are there in ISKCON now. So you can approach them. Of course, not many of them may be so mature to deal with this thing. Definitely, if you are very sincere, seeing your sincerity in introspection, Krishna will send somebody like Narada. Why Narada came to Vyasa? Narada came to Vyasa because Vyasa was sincere in his introspection. If you see, Tatapi Padame Dhiyo Hi Atma Chaivatmana Vibhu Asampannayavadi Brahmavachasya Sattama. Before that, there is one verse. It says, Ki Amantrayascha Pradarshtaha Vishita Dharmadi Dishudriyat. There is one verse. It says, Tasmin Kilamatmanam Manyamanasya Kidataha Vishwasya Naradabhyagat Ashramam. In these verses, we find the qualities of Vyasa. Vyasa was not cheating himself. He is very truthful to himself. So if you are truthful to yourself and you are introspective, definitely a spiritual master comes in the form of a mirror. He can show what's going on in your heart and things and then explain to you very clearly. The question of sincerity, that's all. Okay. What inspired Vyasa to write the Vedas? Of course, he is Shakti Ayush Avatar, Krishna himself. So definitely he is Vyasa. The very purpose of his appearance is to write the Vedic literatures. That is why Vyasa wrote the Vedic literatures. And one of the Puranas, it is described, it is Parashara who instructed him to do so. Parashara is father. Of course, there is not a story like Narada and Vyasa here. There it is a simple thing. Parashara, he tells his son Vyasa, "Oh Vyasa, you are meant to make this, divide the Vedas and then guide the people in their world." So that was there in the mind of Vyasa. And he is a pure soul. In the Bhagavatam, in the very beginning of the previous chapter, 4th chapter, we find that Vyasa is sitting, Samyak Prasa, and then he did Achaman. He could see people in age of Kali will be having so many anomalies. For that purpose, he took the way one Veda and divided into 4. In this way, Vyasa was instructed by Parashara, his father. That is what is described in Vishnu Purana. Okay, we stop here for today. Tomorrow we'll further continue, and we got wonderful verses to be chanted. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.